we are not getting in trouble with the FCC this evening. Thank you.
Taylor, I'm on the line. Talk to me.
Yes, I was just concerned with this pipeline, and Indians are having such trouble out there. And what is the government trying to do? Just take away all of our rights. They start with the Indians. They start with the black people, all the minority groups. I mean, what can we do to try to combat this type of thing? Are they just trying to just genocide us or just take us out? And I'd like for you to respond.
I will respond like this. It is a great day when the people fight back. Listen, this country belongs to the people, not the government. So it's a great day when the people fight back. Yeah, they're catching it, fighting against the government and the pipelines, but they're fighting back. They're fighting back, even though it's going to get real cold out there, blizzards and everything, but they're fighting back. They're determined. And believe me, if we fight back and we fight hard enough, the people will win. That's history. We got a different fight right here in East Cleveland. They're trying to take black folks' land right here in East Cleveland. Regentrification is getting ready to take place. So we must fight back in East Cleveland, just like they're fighting back in the pipeline. The suburbanites are really in shock, and they're really scrambling to figure out what they're going to do about this heroin addiction. It has plagued them like a plague, like it plagued our community on other addictions in the past. And they always said that it was that was our problem. That was those people's problem. They always said that it was not their problem, and they somewhat or mostly ignored it as we were devastated in the community. At some point in time, I'm going to tell America, I'm going to tell Cleveland, I'm going to tell the suburbanites what they must do to get rid of the heroin problem in their community.
A shooting on 116th and Buckeye.
Yes.
And, it's sad, man, the way that our young black brothers are killing each other. I was out there, man, and luckily I was with a group of children, but the children had just went inside the church right before the shooting started. And it's just sad, man, the way we're just gunning each other down. So we need to I think we need to come up with some answers and find out why are these young brothers killing each other like that. It's sad just to be out there and to witness these two young men getting gunned down like that. I'm telling you, it was like they had set off like 10 packs of firecrackers. There were so many shots out there. And I'm telling you, I was literally 10, 15 feet away.
Brother Sears, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. But just to witness something like that and then just to know I had just sent about 30 children inside, just to witness something like that, man, it's sickening. I couldn't sleep last night, and it's bothering to me that these young boys are killing each other like that. And the two young men that were shot, I found out later on that they're brothers, and one of them didn't survive, and the other one is fighting for his life. We need to stop that, man, because what we're killing each other over is nothing.
The young boys that's doing this shooting, and we're saying what's wrong with them. But what's wrong with these young boys and these young men is most of them are from the crack baby era. It's as deeper than just young men with guns shooting each other. Most of these young men are from the crack baby era. They came up through one of the most devastating times in the history of the United States of America with black children. The crack era, it was like a plague in our community. The same plague that is devastating the white community today is the same plague that these young men went through. So the attitude that they have, the craziness that they have, it comes from that era. It comes from an era of their mothers and our community being ignored, families being ignored. And they said, that's our problem. Deal with it. Have these crack babies. Get more mothers strung out. So this is a result of it. This is a result of it. So therefore, there is an answer. There is an answer to this problem. And I might as well tell you right now, since you're on your edges. Listen, in order for the suburbanites to heal, to get help in their community, to heal from this heroin addiction, what they must do is they must atone. They must atone to our community. They must atone to the black community and say, we apologize. We're sorry. We was wrong for saying that it's just y'all. Oh, that's y'all problem. That's them. They must atone to that and realize that the condition that they're in now is the same condition they were in. That the same thing their babies and their families are going through now is the same thing we went through since the 80s. And in order to get help, you must atone for your sins. This was a sin for the suburbanites to just cast us off and say this is our problem. So they must atone. Once you atone for your sins, once you atone, then you're able to get the help you need for your community. But there will be no help for their community. They can search and search until they atone to our community for letting us suffer through this by ourselves. And because of that, we have all these young men, young children, with all these attitude problems. They never got any psychological help. Crack babies growing up, mama on crack out the street, no social agency, die, do whatever you want to do. This is the end result of this. This is what's happening in our community today. So these young people are not just by happenstance. This is real. That's what's happening with these young men. And they still need help. I was hoping that President Obama would reach out and help these young men. These young men need some real deep down help. The help that they're legislating and hoping to do for the suburbanites right now.
Back in the 60s and 70s in our community versus this community, this suburbanite community this time around, they have law enforcement on their side. They have legislation on their side. What I mean by that is that they never had turn in your drug pusher program when it was our turn, did they?
No, sir.
Okay, this is what they have it with a tax dollars behind it. They never had a drug out during our community period where it can reverse a drug overdose. All of a sudden now they have a drug that can reverse a drug overdose. Okay. Yes. In addition to that, they never had turn in your drugs. We won't ask any questions at any police station. These things were unheard of during our period. So you really cannot compare the two, on the same equal grounds because they have more resources and more legislation and the law, Congress people on their side than we did and that we do at this present time.
I agree with you 100%, but there is one way that we can compare the difference, and that is through the devastation of their community. They have never in the history of the suburbanite community ran into such a plague. Of course, I agree with you 100%. They do have the legislation. They do have law enforcement. They do have an overdose reversal. And I agree with you on all those things, bro. But the one thing that they have that can almost be compared, not in longevity, but in severity, is the plague that's hitting their community, man, because it's hitting not only the suburbanites areas, but it's also hitting the small suburbanite areas. And so in devastation, this is something mean, brother. And that's why I say, brother, and then you can continue, with all the legislation, with all the law enforcement, with all the antidotes for overdoses, none of that is sufficient until they atone to our community for the sins the sins of ignoring our community and somewhat shunning our community into the fact of, oh, that's their problem. Innocently, you were accused of a crime of assault of the mayor, and did you, at some point, did you get arrested and go to jail?
Absolutely. I was arrested over a week and a half later by 4 police officers who were detectives who came to arrest me in unmarked cars. And this was political policing. I was arrested that day because I was scheduled to speak at the Democratic War Club meeting that night. And in order to attempt to prevent me from speaking and speaking to the people of East Cleveland about why we had to get rid of Gary Norton, they timed my arrest for that day.
And so for that little simple incident, you wound up in that stinking East Cleveland jail.
I wound up spending the night in that jail, which is the conditions of which are inhumane and unacceptable. And the jail itself is another reason why Gary Norton must go. Not only has he failed to lead the city of East Cleveland out of poverty, out of debt, he led us back into fiscal emergency. He's abusing the rights. He's abusing his power as mayor to engage in political retaliation against political opponents. This is harassment. This is unacceptable. And the people of East Cleveland have a clear choice on December 6th.
Go ahead, Kevin. What I'd like for you to do, I want to talk to you 2 more minutes, but you call right up on the news. We'll be right back, okay?
This has nothing to do with crime. It's political. The only crime is the crime committed by Gary Norton abusing his power as mayor. They waited 9 days to even send anyone to arrest me. I live around the corner from the court, around the corner from the jail, and had been to City Hall 3 or 4 times after the incident, including at the city council meeting. So if at any time I had been made aware there was a warrant, I would have just turned myself in. They arrested me. The whole incident is a political incident, not a criminal one. The only crime, like I said, has been committed by Gary Norton and his political use of our scarce policing resources to retaliate against a political opponent.
So you're saying that in a city where they always cry that the police department is short on manpower, and if one of our residents need police assistance, they might get it or they might not. But in an incident like this, they had 4 great detectives to come to your house and arrest you on a simple incident like this. Yes.
And not only the detectives who arrest me, the chief of police himself went to take the statement from the mayor. So
this is cronyism, man. This is cronyism.
Absolutely. And like I said, everyone knows where I live. I'm at City Hall. I was out campaigning the rest of the day. If it was a crime and I had assaulted someone, then why wasn't I arrested that very day? They waited to prevent me from speaking at a public event. This is my interpretation of that situation. Why wait so long? And then arrest me on a day where there's no court the next day. So that if I wasn't able to bond out, I would have been in jail until Monday.
Torture.
Without even a hearing.
Torture. Brother Branch. Now, I don't want you to talk about what happened, the incident. That's going to be handled Thursday in court. But what I want you to talk about is the fact that, in reality, there was no assault, was there?
There was no assault by me. In fact, if anyone could file a legitimate complaint for assault, it should be me filing it against Gary Norton, as he was the aggressor, the entire incident.
But the reason you wouldn't have filed an assault was because
I'm a man.
That's right, because it wasn't that serious, was it?
Absolutely.
Right.
And in filing this complaint, he showed himself not only to be unfit to be mayor, he's not even a man. He's shown himself to be less of a man, let alone a man capable of leading a city out of the difficulties that the city of East Cleveland confronts today.
Devin Branch, this is powerful stuff. I appreciate you. I got to go.
We appreciate you, Art.
I appreciate. Now, give us. So this Thursday, you will be going to court.
Yes, this Thursday, 9:30 a.m. I will be going to court. They'll be bringing in a special judge from Willoughby to hear my case. The East Cleveland judge recused himself at the last minute. They knew that he was going to recuse himself before I was even released from jail, but I wasn't informed until after I was in court, prepared to be participating in a hearing. And even then, I was given nothing in writing. I had to come back to the court subsequently, even get a notice in writing of my new court date.
They kind of reminded me of Jesus.
Oh Lord, you're not gonna go there. Go ahead,
What I'm
sir.
saying is, when everybody's against you, can't nobody be for you but the Lord. And I figure that's the only way Trump got in there, because everybody was against him. Even you.
Hey, Donna Brown, that was amazing, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Donna, all I could do is shake my head. That was amazing. That was truly amazing. Even a Republican was against him.
Even his own people was against him. You know what? You're a Republican and your own people turn against you? Come on. But for you to come out with a victory, it's got to be a bigger plan than what we the people know about.
Donna, I got all I can do is shake my head, Donna. Cause, hey, you're keeping it real, okay?
All right.